Hello and welcome to the first edition of Email Stack, Inside Email Stack. I'm Andy King. I founded Email Love, and we also have my partner here. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Matt Hayes. I'm one of the founders of Email Stack. We can get into the more deeper intros if we want to in a minute.
Yeah, we are just interviewing each other, recording some YouTube videos just to explain what we're building, how we're building it, share some of the struggles we're going through, some of the successes, and hopefully help other founders, other people doing the same sort of thing in their journey. So hopefully you find this useful. So I think to kick things off, should we Matt, just talk a little bit about what is Email Stack, what's the vision for our company, and where are we at so far? We've been doing it about a year now, haven't we?
Yeah, I think it's about a year and a few months officially as Email Stack, and then a bit before that with one of our products that I can explain in a sec. The vision for Email Stack is to own and operate email marketing products. And I reckon I say between kind of 7 and 10. That's in the quite long term future. I think in the short term we're looking to get up to 5. And these are email products that are supporting the email marketer to send their email out of their marketing platform, their ESP, whatever you want to call it. So they're not ESPs or marketing platforms themselves. They're the tools that support an email marketer to do that. Of which I was the founder of one, and we built that up and sold to Litmus over we built it up for 10 years, sold it to Litmus. In 2021, it was called Kick Dynamic, and that was very much a product that supported email marketers. So it personalized content in the message of an email at the time the email was being opened. So it helped people make the email more engaging, add more personalization, make it more automated than they were doing at that time. Why are we doing it? Why is this good? What separates us from everyone else? I think the email marketing sector generally is it's very mature. Email marketing's been around for a while, but it's quite fragmented. And there's lots of different stages that an email marketer has to manage to get an email from idea or the calendar or merchandising all the way through to out of the door. And along the way, they interact with lots of different technology. And that technology differs depending on whether you're sending, have a small audience that you're sending to and are sending quite infrequently, to whether you've got a large audience, lots of complicated email, different languages and things like that. And the products along the way that support the email marketer to do that are varied. There's lots of different ones. They do different things. They support people in different places. And there's a big opportunity, I think, to own and run a variety of those different products. And I actually think that what makes it really interesting to me is that those products are not going to be billion-dollar companies that are going to return money to private equity and have the massive exit, but there can be high revenue generating, high in my world being 5 to 10 million ARR, and create profit that you can then invest back into the businesses or put in your pocket, however you want to do it. So that's the plan. Well, that's the theory. The plan is to buy or build those type of products.
And we have 3. Well, I guess we have 3 products at the moment, don't we? If you include emaillove.com as a product, which is our inspiration website, our community, our content. We then have a Figma plugin, which is called the Email Love Figma plugin, because I couldn't think of a better name for it at the time.
We should still find the name for it.
Yeah, it could have a different name. I'm scared to change it at this point, just yet. Yeah, so that's two. So emaillove.com and the Figma plugin. And then we also have a deliverability tool called Mailizer, which Matt worked on. I brought Email Love to the table, and Matt brought Mailizer to the table. And you also had an ESP, which you have now
Yeah, I mean,
deprecated.
I did bring the ESP to the table as well, but we decided that it wasn't in fit. It doesn't fit in the model well enough. And actually, the more I think about it, the more happy I am about that. Especially if we want to discuss how we think AI is going to change the way that people send email, but that's probably for another recording.
Yeah, definitely.
I
Yeah, I think
think,
we're building these things in one of the hardest or like
yeah.
most like turbulent times. I think.
You have missed one though. You've missed Pro. So
Well, I kind of counted that as like the website. So we have emailup.com. It's like obviously has free inspiration. Thousands of marketers come to this site every day to like view top emails from every brand. We cover around 5,000 brands, and we automatically upload every email that those brands send us. And then we have analytics on top. And if you want full access to all the journeys, the analytics, the transactional emails, then you do have to upgrade to a paid version. So
yeah,
that's our third product.
yeah. Yeah, so we're in the stage, and I think this is probably a challenge that a lot of founders will recognize. And actually, one of the things that I want to do alongside all of this is to help other B2B founders grow. That 0 to 1 stage where you're getting your first customers, then getting your first significant MRR, hiring your first employees, building your first team, and then getting to a milestone that where you feel like, this is actually a thing, which is some people that would be $1 million ARR. Some people it would be less. It just depends on kind of where you are. I think part of what we're doing in these videos is so founders can see this and kind of see the stages and the struggle. And we're at that interesting stage now where we have growing products. We have a decent MRR and ARR, but we're at that time where it's just not enough to be like, I don't know, to have that feeling of kind of, great, right, we've got this now, let's go to the next stage. We're on the edge, I think is a way of describing it, without giving the ARR away. Yeah, it's on
It's
that
not it's not high enough. It's not high enough for us to
give it away. When it gets higher, we'll give it away. Yeah, but I know that, and I speak to founders, I know that B2B founders, especially obviously those that are bootstrapping, but even those that aren't, are very much at that stage. Whether it would be trying to get to 10K MRR, so 10K a month, whether it's trying to get to 400-500K ARR because they know they can hire people and pay themselves a bit more, cover the bills. It's a challenging time because you can feel the movement in the right direction. Sometimes you don't know where the increase in whatever it might be is coming from, but you've got to keep just pushing on the channels that you're trying to build business through. But you just want to get to that next stage a little bit so you can just relax and know that you've got there and then go to the next stage. So I think that's kind of where we're at, which is an interesting challenge, one that I've done. And I've done that before. Just got to remember it and be patient through it too as well.
Yeah, it feels like we have good momentum. We are bringing on some amazing brands to use our products, but we're still like not able to like fully pay ourselves properly. So it's quite a tricky tricky spot that hopefully we get through soon.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's a spot that everyone goes to. And if you were a business that was backed, whether it's through whatever stage of funding that you might be, or any other way, any other capitalization, you would be spending that money to pay yourself. But when you're bootstrapped,
I know. Is that how it works? Like you get money from a VC and then you're just using that to pay your salary. Is that what they do?
you're,
I've
you're,
always kind of like wondered that because it seems like you shouldn't do that.
yours and the teams. Obviously, you're not going to pay yourself 300
Yeah,
grand.
you're not paying yourself. Yeah, you're not like gonna. But still, it seems
But
kind of. I mean,
you're going to cover the
I
bill.
definitely agree with bootstrapping. Like, I definitely want to go down that path. I think I've seen. I have seen companies, like I've worked for companies that have taken loads of money and then just wasted it on so much stuff. Like it was fun for employees for sure. Like we did trips and had super nice offices and fancy
Yeah,
catering, lunches every day. But when that money runs out, the VCs start saying, "Where's my money? I need the growth," and then they start firing people. So
yeah.
that's the process I've seen
Well,
a lot.
yeah, and it can get the firing part can be worse because they can fire you, and then
Oh,
you're
as the founder, like you're not. Yeah, you're almost like in a job at that point, right? Like it's kind of
yeah, depending on how it works, but that can be the case for sure. Yeah, you end up with majority ownership in the company that you started with, and you can be fired. Therefore, um, yeah, and I think today as well, how much you can do in terms of building technology and building product and marketing much easier now. You don't need to have that investment. I think the investment really should be when you found the channels that work well, then you can put money into those channels so you know that you're going to increase the growth through it. But that's easy to say when you have when you're able to say, oh, we don't have to pay ourselves for the next couple of months, and you have money to support yourself, right? I know there's many people out there that want to start companies and don't have that, that level of finance behind them, if you know what I mean. So it's easy to say, but yeah, I think bootstrapping is the way to go, or even you get to the place where you can show traction, what bits work, and then you can go and raise some money to do that. And then you can raise on good terms as well, like good terms for you as a founder. But I think for us, we're always going to try and bootstrap, and we'll try and be efficient as much as possible. I think that's just our nature as well as our personalities. It is difficult to do that, I think, and this is something that we're working through. Where if we see an email product that we really like, and we think they're great for email Stack, the founder really works with us or likes us, or the people that are in the business, doesn't have to be the founder, and they're doing 800 to a million in ARR, and we want to buy them, we need capital to buy them. And we don't have that level of capital right now because we haven't built the current products up to a level where we can use that revenue to borrow money, and we don't have the capital to do it. So although we are bootstrapping, it does come with some kind of challenges around wanting to fulfill the vision that we've got.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be interesting how long it takes us, because obviously it's easy to be impatient with these things. It's also just like I feel like we're kind of in survival. Or I feel like I'm in survival mode at the moment of just being able to grow it enough that we can just pay basic salaries, which is the tricky part.
Yeah. The good news is I feel like we're very close in that. In the set, I know other founders that have been doing it longer than we have and are not close to that.
Yeah. I mean, we're definitely like in a few months. I think even like we're that close that we're in legal procurement with like a bunch of companies that will help us get into 2026, and hopefully 2026 is a much bigger year for us.
Yeah,
I'd say.
I think that's the plan. I mean, it's I think where the increase in ARR is coming from, we've only really discovered that in the last 6 months anyway. We had some inbounds, we've seen what they wanted to do, we've come out with a plan for that type of customer, and now we're looking at that type of customer and going, oh yeah, great, that's a slightly, maybe we knew it was going to happen, but we didn't know it was kind of in this form. Now we recognize that, we know how we help them, so we can go and find others that look like that and say, hey, look, we've helped customers doing this actually genuinely helps you. This is how much it costs, sign up. We didn't have that 6 months ago.
Definitely learned a lot of just by talking to prospects, seeing who's coming inbound, and there's definitely a pattern of who's going to use the product and who we should be targeting. So that's definitely something that you have to learn the hard way. I don't think there's a short. AI is not going to just tell you the answer to that.
Is it not? Yeah, I mean, the plugin was a weird one, interesting one for me, because you would think between our level of experience in email marketing, we'd be able to know exactly what the ICP is for this product, and my thought of the ICP is completely wrong. There's a different ICP that we've got now. So it doesn't matter how much experience and knowledge you have, if you don't go out there and test it and get in front of the customer and listen to other people, then what's the point, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for context, Matt and I have both worked in the email space for email service providers for 15 plus years each. And we met at an old email company called Lyris a long time ago, 2012, maybe even earlier than that. We both worked in the London office, and we both also worked in the Oakland office. And I'm still in the Bay Area, and Matt's moved back to London. So that's how we kind of know each other, going back a long time.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good way to find a co-founder, rather than, I think if you're partnering with a random person that you have never worked with before or don't know very well, I think that seems a lot riskier to me. And I think so far I'm happy with how our partnership is going, at least. It's kind of how I expected it to go. So
yeah, same.
I think that's like the hard thing, and I probably wouldn't have left my job and done this without your help. I think I'd probably still be. I think I would have. For context, I was building a product on the side while I worked full time, and Matt knew it, obviously, but I think I wouldn't have had the guts to leave I was in a big SaaS company before this, so hard to leave a big salary and all the perks and benefits that go alongside it. I don't miss any of that stuff. I mean, I miss the money, but I don't miss any of the other stuff, the politics, the downsides of working for a big company.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad. I mean, that's it's.
I mean, you haven't worked for a big company in a long time, but
no, I haven't. I mean, I did.
You can maybe remember what it was like.
I do remember what it was like. I mean, the two stints at big companies were when Lyris took over the agency in the UK that I worked for, and then I went to the Bay Area and worked for Lyris in the Bay Area. And then I also, after the acquisition of Kick Dynamic, I spent a year as part of the deal with Litmus. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call Litmus a big company, but...
Didn't you work at Responses for a little bit as well?
Oh, yeah, I had a little interesting time there, which was a bit of a weird time, kind of jumped around a little bit. I think the jumping around was really a symptom of the fact that I didn't like working for people and in companies generally. And as soon as I kind of Kick Dynamic started, the idea of Kick Dynamic started growing, and I was speaking to one of the co-founders who was in the UK but came over to San Francisco quite a lot. As soon as I had that kind of, I think this could be a real thing, that was it. I did it, left America and came back to the UK to do it, because it's really hard to do that in the US on the visa.
It's very hard to do it in the US, even if you're a citizen, because the healthcare system is not super friendly to people who don't have full-time jobs. Is what I would say. It's probably one of the, like, you've got to either be like super young or have a partner that will help support you. Otherwise, if you have a health issue, you'll be bankrupt pretty quickly.
I mean, that's it's a huge benefit of being in Europe in terms of starting a business. I think the UK is one of the friendliest places to start a business. The UK and Europe gets a little bit of a bad rep on starting companies being a bit, not as innovative and doesn't have as bigger goals and ideas, which might be true, but it is very friendly to create companies. Less paperwork, less admin. You can start an actual business within half an hour. It's really quite easy. And obviously healthcare is part of the deal. But I think it's going back to the kind of partnership side of it. The thing that was really interesting to me and different, and I think we missed this off when we were talking about email stack and what separates us. But having Email Love and the community behind it is a real benefit in terms of running a company. Because one of the hardest things that you can do, like if you created a tech company today, and it could be the best product you've ever created and built, if you can't put it in front of anybody, then what can you do? So you have to build the audience and you have to build your marketing up, and you're not going to have tons of money to just start throwing at ads. So having a community that you can gently say, hey, we've got this idea, do you think this will help you? Or we've got this product, do you think it will help you? I think separates us a little bit. And I've kind of jumped into the world, which I never did before, of these companies that own lots of different companies, which are called whole companies or whole cos or roll-ups. And a lot of their challenges are, how do they grow? What channels can they use? So when I'm speaking to them about what Email Stack does and the fact that we have this community, they always are kind of, oh, that's a brilliant idea. Wish we had that. So having you bringing that in, and also having the location, you being in the Bay Area, me being in London, I think it covers the Europe and US, which are I think the two biggest markets for email marketing. So it worked really well. It works really well in that way, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think without emaillove.com, we would have no customers, or very, very, it would be like really hard to get leads, or like, I don't even know how we would do it. It would be maybe like a lot of cold outreach or ads, maybe. But I think that's if you go on like Reddit and you like just check out like some of the like subreddits on SaaS or entrepreneur, or the biggest challenge is getting people to get the marketing side, not building the product side. And so,
especially today,
having like we have around 1,500 to 2,000 people visiting our site every day. So and they're mostly marketers, designers, developers. So, that's a large number of people that just organically seeing our products, or two of our products, not all of them. But we need to figure that out for the Mailizer.
Yeah, we need to figure it out, but we also, we're very cautious of, this is a community that that you've built mainly, and an audience, and we don't want to, abuse it, or we don't want to treat it badly. So while even if we had 15 products, we're not going to chuck 15 products to everybody that comes on the site. We have to do it really well. It's still an asset, and it's still the way of doing it, but it just has to be also done in the right way. I think that's really important. Yeah, because we don't want to, we don't want to do things in the wrong way. Yeah, I mean, what's amazing as well is that I think we're still really early in that, say, 1,500 to 2,000 a day. There's no reason why that can't be 5,000 a day by this time.
Yeah, my goal is 100,000 people a month is what I would like us to get to, and ideally an email list that was also a similar size. So it's growing every day. It's growing. It's taken a long time. Like it's been just every day posting new content, sending out a newsletter every week. You can definitely see it getting momentum now, though. So
the thing is, it taking a long time means that there's quality behind it, right? That there is that.
Oh, it's like people spend ages on the website. They're viewing like 4 or 5 pages. They're spending 3 to 5 minutes on the site, which is a long time. So it's engaging. It's an engaged community of people that are interested in the same topic as us.
Yeah, I think 100,000 a month is a really good target.
And there are other websites that are obviously similar that do this. So I know it's possible. But it's also very competitive, like crowded space.
Yeah.
So it might take a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's going to take a bit of time. I think we've got to almost double down on what we're doing now. So
I find it hard to believe that we could fail if we just keep
we carry on doing what we're doing, exactly.
The content and building the community, because that's what's getting us our leads and our sales for our products at the moment.
And I think the traditional way of doing it is actually still the right way. And what I mean by that is we make sure that we're getting the SEO part of things right, which we're kind of doing a bit of, and we're going to do a bit more of that. You're sending the email on a weekly basis. We're putting stuff on LinkedIn. We're partnering with other people. All that kind of classic way of building.
We're doing events. We had our first in-person event. It's quite hard. It's quite a lot of. It's like I'm not like I think my background has set me up quite well to do a lot of that stuff, but not all of it. But I've done marketing. I've done sales. The funny thing is, neither of us are like the technical people. Like we hire other people to build our products, and we are both more on the sales and marketing sides, which I think is a little bit different because traditionally you would have one technical person and one, like more sales marketing person. I think we could use a technical person personally, because relying on freelancers and consultants to do stuff is not always, stuff breaks and they don't always have the urgency to fix it.
I think we'll end up with someone who's really into the business that is a technical person for sure. Whether they're a co-founder level, I don't know. That's a bit difficult to say, but that's really kind of invested in the future and the company. But we can get really far without that person. I think we can definitely get to significant revenue. And whether that person comes on board, if we were to acquire, their product, and then they kind of come on board as bringing that product with them, and then over with all the email stack products, we'll see. That could be an interesting way of looking at it. Yeah, I think just going back to the kind of hard to fail if we carry on doing what we're doing. I think there's also a bit of let's do a bit more of what we're doing when we can find the time to be able to do it. There's a bit of stuff out there about how do you rank in ChatGPT, and that's a high in our list of referrers to the site. But I think my current view on it, and if anyone listening has a different opinion, please get in touch. That is, if you do the normal things, so you try and rank well in Google and everything else, that's also going to put you in a good place with ChatGPT and others. But we'll see. It could change because it's changing quite quickly.
I think it kind of boils down to just put good content out there, and then it'll get ranked in Google. It'll get picked up by AI search or AI engines. I think that's what it boils down to, is not putting out just crappy AI generated slop. And I'm wondering if, because recently we've seen a spike in our traffic. I'm wondering, because we changed the way our website works. And so now we're uploading over 1,000 new posts to our website every day. A post is basically an email with like the HTML and like a screenshot. And we have over 150,000 of those right now, and it's growing really quickly. So those are all getting ranked on Google. And so I'm wondering if we're going to start to see that help us. Because if you're searching Nike email inspiration, like we come up, like we're like top, or one of the top. And I just wonder if, that is getting us some momentum by itself.
I think it might be, and I think it's a combination of that and the continued things that we're doing. I think as a marketer or as a founder, you kind of look for like this magic bullet that's gonna kind of you fire it and all of a sudden you're there. And I just don't think that exists. I think it's just continued effort on.
I think some people got lucky and have had that happen, and they're just like, that's I just did this blog post and it got like 1 million people to it, and that kind of thing or they've done like a video and it's just gone viral.
Yeah.
And like we've done tons of videos and none of them have gone viral. So
I'm still skeptical of that. Like, I think they play it down a little bit. They'll be like, "Oh, I just created this video, and I did it and it went viral." But what you don't see is how much work they put into it, how much they tested of the thumbnails and all the stuff that they've done beforehand to try and get to that place. I am skeptical of that. Maybe I'm just being a bit, English about it, but I am a bit skeptical that it's just stick it out there. Of course, there are things that do kind of latch on a little bit, but that doesn't give you like that go from 0 ARR to 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 ARR. It might give you a spike in traffic, but then it might come off because you can't do that on repeat, or it's very difficult to do that on repeat. I think the other thing to add into it that we're not doing, which we've talked about, but we might as well share it here, is that what kind of level of influencers we can kind of bring involved, or audiences or fans of the site. That could be really interesting as something to put into the stuff that we're doing now.
You mean like pay influencers to promote us, or
maybe a bit of pay, a bit of kind of, hey, here's this, or can you talk about us? It would be genuine. They'd have to be fans of Email Love, which there are a lot of, or users of the plugin or something like that. I see that quite a lot, and I do wonder how much of that is manufactured versus how much of that is natural.
Ideally it would be natural, because I have been an influencer for an ESP recently. They paid me to do some posts, and the posts didn't do that. I don't think I don't want to say that. They performed okay, but people kind of, because it has to say like sponsored, like go here and check out this product. I think people kind of see through that. Whereas if it's like a genuine, like, hey, I have this problem, this product could help you. Here is the link to this product. I use this, and it's like an organic, natural thing. That is what we want. We want people on Reddit talking about us and saying, here is the product that you should use, rather than like paying people to promote it.
Yeah, I think. Is there a way to generate the naturalness? Hey,
It
it's
takes.
a little prop to say, hey,
I mean, I do it personally. Like,
yeah, just
yeah, I use
personalize.
I think it's called F5 bot. So whenever anyone on Reddit mentions our companies or competitors, I can jump in, and obviously that's like coming from me, so people
Yeah,
kind of sometimes know that, but that definitely helps.
yeah. Well, it's something to figure out, I think, or figure out and go, no, it's not something we should do. Let's forget about it.
Yeah. I mean, the other problem right now is I freelance to pay the bills, which is why I don't have like 100% of my time to focus on like marketing or sales, or I freelance. And then I do support for our Figma plugin, which is getting a lot of customers at the moment. And that's also, at a certain point, we'll be like, need a support person, or we need someone to do more stuff. But we also in the tricky position where I can't afford to pay someone else to do it. So
But
it's
and that's that. Yeah, right back to the beginning. That's that frustrating place that loads of
you
people
just
be
you
found.
just wait until it breaks, and then you're like, okay, now I have to hire someone, or like I can't respond to all these support
But
questions,
you're
or
on the edge where you've got all of this stuff, so you can't do the main stuff. You're freelancing on the side, but we haven't quite got the ARR to get us to the position where we can hire someone or pay ourselves. So we're in that. You just got. It's like a pain period that you just got to go through to get
yeah,
to the
now
side.
is like it's like the hardest time. I
Yeah,
think hopefully we can push through it, and I can stop the freelance work, and we can pay ourselves from like the revenue that we pull in from the company.
right, exactly.
Because right now the freelance work does help pay my bills and help pays
Yes,
actually the company bills, because running a large website actually costs a bit of money as well,
mm,
with all the tools, all the hosting, you know, all of that stuff adds up.
yeah,
But I think overall our costs are, if we can maintain them, are pretty low. Um, like it's still like, for us right now, it's still quite a lot on a monthly basis, but I think I don't see us having to increase the costs significantly
yeah. I think
as we
generally,
scale.
yeah. I think it's a good, exactly. It's a good price or good level now. We wouldn't we wouldn't want to see it increase, yeah, as it goes. As we grow, if we can keep it as it is, it'd be great. I think. Um, yeah,
Cool. Well, anything else you want to add? I think that we can probably wrap it up.
I think we can wrap it up for this one.
I think we covered a lot. I think we'll think of a more focused topic for our next session, but hopefully people found this useful. And if you are experiencing or going through something similar, let us know in the comments, or feel free to reach out to us to chat. Cool.
See you later.
Thanks, Matt. Talk to you
Bye.
later.
See you later.
Bye.